Hey guys, welcome to IC Arts, the channel for artists and illustrators, and in this video today we are talking about different types of clients. I believe that since we are selling and offering our services to different people, and those people are again very different, it's kind of a good point and a bonus for us to know what types of clients are there, because very often it could help us to pick the correct and the most professional approach if we want to get the jobs. Not every one of us has an experience in marketing and sales, but the types of clients that I'm going to share with you today would be very useful to know. There are several ways to categorize the clients, and there are so many different categories out there. You could categorize by their behavior, motivations, and expectations. The number one could be the corporate clients. So those are the clients that will definitely require the most professional, clear communication. Those clients really know very, very well what they need from you, what kind of services. They have a very detailed brief very often, and they have branding guidelines, which you definitely need to follow. They require you to sort of focus on the professionalism and consistency here. So when you have a request from this type of client, you definitely need to right away go and research everything you can about that company and about their brand, about their styles, preferred forms, shapes, everything they've used, colors, fonts, all that. This will help you to get the clearest idea of what they expect from you. The hardest part working probably with these type of clients, because everything else is pretty much clear. All the guidelines, all the timeline revisions, you do sign a contract. The only thing is that there may be more than one person involved in the decisions, and sometimes it happens that you've done the work, one person approved it, and then later on another person disapproved it, and you still need to do some adjustment. But if you have a contract signed on time, you will be covered for any adjustments that are already more than you've agreed to, or depending on the company, maybe it's a very popular brand, so you won't really brag about it and you do the adjustments. So that's, again, very personal here. Now, the clients number two, to me, these are the largest slice. This is the largest slice of the pie, would be the private commissions and individual clients. I work a lot with self-published authors, so those clients are really my favorites. And these clients, they typically seek professionalism, and they are not always as clear with what they want or need compared to the corporate clients. And your job here is to explain in detail about the process, about everything that the job would entail, because the clients simply might not know it. And even if they worked with some Illustrator before, your work might be different. And explaining all that actually gives a lot of value to your work and justifies the price that you are charging for it. These clients are usually the most open to ideas and creativity, and I would say you work very, very much as a team with them, because you're always going back and forth trying to figure out what works best for their project, and I love that. I love that type of communication that could happen. And so your approach would be very important, is to pay attention to all the details that the client shares with you and their preferences. Never forget about the initial concept, right? Because even if you provide some really creative ideas, you have to always provide different previews on various stages for this client and update them regularly on the process of work. And the third one would be a dream for so many people, would be agencies. So design agencies, advertising agencies, publishing agencies. So agencies, they usually look for flexibility, creativity, and obviously the ability to meet the deadlines under pressure. If it's a publishing agency, it's somewhat easier than working with a self-publisher, because everything is very much clear, all the stages. You work with the art director or creative team, and they also have a lot of very valuable suggestions to your work, because they're in the business and they know what would work better for a certain project. You also get a very constructive feedback on your work, and it actually helps you grow as an artist or an illustrator, especially if you're into book publishing business. So obviously, in all these cases, you have to maintain professionalism and be very honest about your skills. And in all cases, it's very important to establish communication, because never forget that this client might be your client again in the future. So this long-term relationships is actually a very important goal for you. And it's also needless to say that this client can then recommend you to another potential client. So basically that's how it works, and that's how you build that base, the client base. So once we cleared that out, I want to talk about a little bit more specific about the clients, especially the most complicated ones. So client number one would be a discount client. These are usually the clients that they can understand the value of your work, but they don't want to pay full price. They want to have a discount, they want to have some deals from you, and your goal here will be absolutely number one, to emphasize your value, provide your expertise, provide the thorough explanation of your process, your rates, so they understand that all that entails your dedication to provide a high quality work. These helps these clients to understand that they are receiving, they will get the professional service from you, and that's what they're paying for. Obviously, with these clients, a good idea would always be to negotiate. It's hard to actually give advice specifically here because it would depend on the project, but you could always offer some items in your work that would be maybe free. It's say you could offer lettering, if you're good at it, you could offer maybe a sticker pack, which won't be really hard for you to do. Imagine that, because you already have all, maybe it's the characters or maybe it's the prompts or anything. All you need to do is just to establish it in a sticker pad, in a sticker pack. And you could also offer to do some maybe additional service like consultation for self-publishing, or maybe help with setting an Ingram Spark or Amazon account. There are clients who actually don't want to deal with that, and they would be happy if you could work with, if you can work with them on it. So just think about it. Maybe some delivery dates could be a little changed, and that would be to the benefit of the client. Basically, any complementary services that would enhance the final product and project. Just think about it. These types of clients, even if you see that the price, I'm not talking about drastically discounted work, like $25 for a spread, but for some countries, and I've mentioned it already, it could be a justifiable price. But for me, if I live in the United States and I get an offer for a book for $25 a spread, even for a page, I cannot afford to do it, because this will not pay for my living. So coming back, consider the potential long-term relationships. If maybe there is a little adjustment in the price that you were not looking for, but you do love this project, you do want to work on it, it will help you to enhance your portfolio, to enhance your skills. If you maybe do not have any work right now or haven't had for some time, you could also consider that. Or sometimes this type of clients, they can also say promise, because promise not necessarily means that it's going to happen. They could offer, say, I'm going to buy 3 books from you. If it's possible, you could even put it in the contract. But okay, we're done with this. Number 2 is the hardest client type for me would be uncertain clients. Why the hardest is because usually when they request your services, they say something as simple and give you as little information as possible. Say, I want a logo for my flower boutique. That's it. They don't even tell you what they want to be in there, and this is your job here to get as much information as possible. This way you will also sort of narrate the customer's mind probably towards what he or she really wants. So you could send references, you could give ideas. Yes, this is something that you would do extra, right? This work you're doing already without even having the job, but most likely I think uncertain clients, this is what they rely on if you want to get the job. They want to see your involvement, your ideas right away. And those are usually sometimes very busy people. They don't want to think about it twice. They rely on your professionalism. But the hardest thing with them is if you don't get this information out of them right away, you will end up providing them with numerous results, and the client will only maybe on the 10th design figure out finally what he or she needs. And another very important, vital thing here is to explain right away to the client that there will be a contract and that this is the brief. So put it in a contract. This is the brief that I have for the job. This colors, this elements, this size, all that. Put it in the contract, and also put that any additional changes will require additional payment. So set the rules right away, because uncertain clients, they're sort of like I'm not saying any type of clients is bad, so again, please understand that. I'm just saying that as we are all different people, I might be in a certain client myself, but so it's just the way you work with them. By setting those rules, you protect your back later on if there are any changes in the design. Now, there are also indecisive types of clients who I consider to be very similar to these ones. Those types of clients, they can't make a decision. So, for example, they want a character, a boy, this, and that, and then you provide, obviously, you make a character for several boys, right? 4, for example, and they can't decide. And these are usually the clients that also feel like they need communication from you. So you have to know how to communicate with people doing this job, and you will discuss each one of the characters, for example, explaining pros and cons of each one of them, and saying that we could use maybe the eyes from this character and the outfit from the other one. It's all mix and match, and then finally you make a decision. But again, set the rules ahead of time, so there is no such thing as, you know, I changed my mind, I actually want the other character, and then when the project is done. Another advice probably for indecisive clients would be not to provide them with too many options. So of course you have to provide as many designs for a character, but say if it's a scenery in the park, don't provide more than 2. It's a park. You could offer a park with an ice cream truck, or maybe, I don't know, a water splash, depending on the season. So these are the types of clients that I find the hardest to work with, but with any type of client, you need to be professional, you need to be ready to listen, to communicate. And I should also mention about 3 ways you could communicate with your clients. If you're working on a larger project like a book, or maybe it's a series of characters, or if your client feels comfortable with it, is to schedule a video call. It could be Zoom, it could be Skype. I don't know if anybody still uses that. WhatsApp, whatever. Just it could be just a phone call. Not everybody is comfortable with seeing each other. And a side note here, I know a lot of illustrators are afraid to do video calls, and I always, in this case, remind them the clients might be afraid too. Not everybody's comfortable with it in the beginning, but I find it's absolutely essential, because only by talking to each other you can say as many words as you want, you can discuss as many ideas as you can, and this way you can come up to the best outcome on your project, on the project that you're working on. Seeing each other, there's no such a big deal there. I believe it's actually a good idea when the client connects you to a real human being. That's why I always recommend people who have social media to show up your face there once or twice, because you're not only those illustrations, you are the person, and this is your personal brand, which is also important. Now, say once the big chunk of work is done, you've discussed the ideas, you could of course continue emailing each other. That's essential when you're sending the files, communicating some things, sending each other, I don't know, barcode numbers, something that you can't really say. And for the fastest communication, those could be text messages, because something like, oh, I've sent you an email, did you take a look at it? Or quick question, something. And the text messages, so for fast communication, but never really, I would go against it, send a voice message to your client, and also ask your client not to send voice messages to you with instructions. The reason is, you will waste so much time re-listening to that. And when you see things typed, you can just look at it, okay, I've done that, or something. So listening to voice messages could be bad, because you could lose some information. And I know a lot of people say, I like voice messages, but honestly, I will always write everything down that I need to write down, even when I have a video call with a client. So I hope this bit of information I've shared with you today was useful for your work as a freelance artist or illustrator. And if you have any other questions, I would be very happy to answer them. For this video, I would recommend you to watch my previous video where I talk about how to sell yourself aside from the competition, because when a client contacts you, most likely you're not the only one. That will also help you greatly in communicating with your clients, or potential clients. I hope you like this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and put the thumbs up. It really helps to support me and the channel, and I will appreciate it a lot.